One of the thrilling things for me about growing a few plants in my vegetable garden is the abundance, the amount of vegetables that you can get from just a few plants or a small area. Take, for instance, these peppers. These are cayenne peppers. 12 pounds of peppers picked off of 8 plants in one picking. It's quite an amazing yield, wouldn't you say? But you know, for me, that's a problem because I'm a guy who doesn't like to waste anything. So what am I going to do with all of these peppers? Well, I love pepper sauce. And there's so many different recipes out there. But what I wanted to do today is just share a really basic one with you where you can take advantage of these peppers and some of the others that I grew in the garden, make something delicious that you can share with friends, and you can enjoy the flavor throughout the entire year. All right, to get started, it's really simple. You just want to make sure that your jars and closures are clean. What I mean by a closure, that would be the ring and the lid that goes on top of these canning jars. Next, place a rack in the bottom of a boiling water canner and set your jars on top of that. Then add water to the jars until the jars are 2/3 full. Add water to the canner, and then you want to heat this to 180 degrees Fahrenheit, but you don't want it to boil. You see what you're doing here is you're just sterilizing the jars. Now you're going to want to do the same thing with the lids and the rings, so place them in a saucepan and cover them with water and heat them to 180 degrees. Now through this process, you just want to keep the lids and the jars hot until you're ready to use them. Now for the fun part, the recipe. Now you can be creative with this, but I want to share this recipe with you because it really works. And it's because I have these certain peppers in my garden. But just remember, you can come up with any kind of ratio you like. It depends on how much heat you like with your pepper sauce. So what I'm doing here is I'm taking some cayenne peppers. Here they are. You can see we have lots of them. And I have a generous 2-cup portion here. And I've just coarsely chopped these, almost just cut them in half. And then this is the hot cherry pepper. You can see those here, beautiful. I've got 3 cups of those. And then this is the mildest of the peppers. This is a banana pepper, and I have 6 cups of banana peppers. So you can see the colors here are really quite beautiful. Now the other part of this recipe is the solution, the vinegar solution that you pour over them. You see I use 6 cups of vinegar, 2 cups of water, and 3 cloves of crushed garlic. You see what happens is the garlic infuses into this water and vinegar solution. Gives it a nice little touch. And then what we're going to do is we're going to pour that over these peppers and fill up the jars. So you'll see in here that it's really hot and steamy, just the way it's supposed to be. And what I'll do is I'll take these jars out one at a time, this handy jar holder. Be careful because it's really hot. You just want to pour the water out of them and then place them over here like this, one at a time. All right, there's the last jar, okay? Now, what we want to do is we want to take these peppers and pack them in. And if you want to, when you're working with peppers, you can use these gloves. It's handy because they're really hot and you don't want to rub your eyes. At this point, I'll handle them because it's just easier. But what I'm going to do is just add a few the cayenne. And basically what you're trying to do is pack them in, pack as many of them in as you can. I like to distribute them equally. Okay, I'm going to save a few for maybe the top. Now I'm going to add some of these beautiful banana peppers. And I'm going to cap it with some of these hot cherry peppers. Got a few cayenne left here to go on the top. Then you can take a little spatula and just push them down. All right, now I've packed them down. Now it's just a matter of pouring the vinegar solution over them. This is a handy little device that helps me guide the vinegar in. And here's our vinegar. And so what you want to do is I'll just set this aside and then begin to pour it in like that. You want to bring the vinegar up just about to the top. You want to make sure the peppers are completely covered. That's really all there is to that. You want to just push out as many air bubbles as you can by just taking a plastic spatula like this and push them down. All right, now I'm just going to use these tongs to lift out the lids, and I can place them on there, just like that. Here's another one. Still pretty hot. You can see on the bottom of these there's a rubber seal, and that's what's important here because you want to make sure that that seal is set. So I'm getting them all evened up. Okay, next I have these screw bands that go over the top, and you just want to tighten those down just to where it's tight to the touch. You don't want to crank them down too much. and this will make sure that you get a nice seal. It's back in the bath they go. And here's the last one going in. The water's still pretty hot. Now what you want to do is you want to raise the water level to 1 inch above the jars, the top of the jars. So I'm getting that water level up. And I'm going to bring this to a boil, and this needs to boil for 10 minutes. Then I can turn the heat off and I can set the jars out. So here we go. Now, once those have boiled for 10 minutes, you'll bring them out and let them cool for at least 5 minutes, maybe even longer. I like for them to become completely cooled. These are some I made earlier in the day, and they are cooled. One of the things you can do just to check to make sure that you've got a seal is you can hold it like that and make sure that it's tight, and if it doesn't come loose, then you're in good shape. A simple recipe for pickled peppers. Now I'll have pickled peppers to use in, well, all sorts of things throughout the year.